My name's Chris Wood. I'm my grandiose title is API Specialist, but I'm part of what we call the GSD team at Visa Europe Collab. And GSD stands for Get Stuff Done. So what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about our API playground that we're currently building. Oops. So, what's Visa Europe Collab? So, Visa Europe Collab's only been around 6 months, and it is an initiative that the Visa Europe organisation took in order to build a separate area for innovation. Essentially, the premise is we'll take innovation out of the main business, give it a little bit of space to breathe and grow, go and work with some cool people with cool ideas, but also have a space where we can test our own ideas that the main organisation has come up with. I think the key point is that Visa, being the organisation it is, there's various regulatory and policy constraints on how we operate, and actually removing the innovation arm from inside the organisation and putting it somewhere else is really going to help us smooth the path of innovation. So the main point of it, take ourselves out of the main part of Visa Europe, go and explore our ideas and initiatives elsewhere, and go and find some cool people to work with. So our aim is to work with collaborators, startups, innovators on a range of different technologies and subject areas that we'll come on to it a bit later in the presentation. So, as I said, it's relatively new. We've only been around 6 months. In those 6 months, we've set up 3 hubs. The main hub is in London. We're based in Shoreditch. That suits us very nicely. We're close to the tech community. We're close to lots of great burger joints. Everybody can grow vintage beards. It's great. We've also got hubs currently forming in Berlin and one already set up in Tel Aviv. So we're really targeting the tech communities around Europe. So, an API playground. We're creating what we're calling an API playground, where we can let our innovation stuff happen. So, why are we creating an API playground, you may ask? So, I was just digging back through some training material that I presented the other day to a team back inside Visa of why are APIs important, and I'd come up with all these reasons. They're there for dispute. You can make your own mind up about all these reasons, but I've highlighted in red the one that was really important for us is giving the community access to our APIs is really going to help foster innovation projects. It's really going to help us explore ideas, and as a goal of the organisation, of the Visa Europe Collab organisation, it was really important that one of our first steps is to create this playground where innovators can come and use our APIs. So the term playground has been chosen quite deliberately. There's a semantic argument that could say, well, it's just a sandbox, it's just a sandpit, it's just a litter tray, it's whatever term that you come up with for the same kind of concepts. And yeah, it probably is the same as a sandbox. But as I say, it's quite a deliberate choice of words. We're trying to describe the kind of environment that we're attempting to set up. So, there won't be any slings, swings and slides, unfortunately. There are rules about the playground. So, just like a playground, no under 12s, only under 12s. You've got to follow the rules in order to get into the playground. This isn't an open API program, unfortunately. It's an API program that we provide to our collaborators and partners to participate in. So, there's obviously legal obligations around that, terms and conditions, so on and so forth. But the idea is that this is something we offer to the people we're working with. I've gone backwards. once you're in the playground, just like any kid's playground, you can run off and play with all the equipment. So our premise is that once you've met the rules, you can play with anything that's in the playground. Any of our APIs, there's no bounds to what you can do. You can go and discover and delight yourself with anything that's there. So, we're surfacing our APIs for Visa.me and Visa Direct inside the playground. So there's the APIs themselves, documentation and so forth that people can use. And also innovation assets. Now, innovation assets is a bit of a fuzzy term, but what it basically means is anything that we've created during the course of other proofs of concept that we run will be kept in the playground as a toy and be available for future use, basically. So any of our partners who are coming into the playground to play with our toys are welcome to use our innovation assets. I've gone backwards again. Right. The last point about our playground is that if you don't like the games that the other kids are playing, you can go off and play in your own private little playground. So what this actually means is our initial offering is basically a sandbox environment. Okay, so you come into our playground, you're given access to our APIs, and you share a common area with other people who are working in the playground. If you don't like that, or for the purposes of a project, it serves to have your own playground, we actually spin up a new one for you. So we're working hard to virtualize everything we've got, all our APIs, so that a button click we can just recreate everything in one hit. This serves our purposes, because if we're working on a particular proof of concept where we want a ring-fenced environment, then we can just spin one up. It's all nice and simple, gives us flexibility. So that's the kind of premise about what we're trying to achieve. It's this flexible environment where we can invite people in to work with us. We can spin up, spin down different toys in the playground as we want to. So how are we making our equipment for the playground? So we're basically using a variety of technologies to get our job done. Number one, of course, we're using CA API management. Visa's got an existing relationship with CA back from when they were still layer 7. It's a tool we like. It works for API management. We use the gateway and the portal in order to manage our APIs, provision access to developers from our partner organisations. It works for us. We like the gateway especially because it is easy to use. We've managed to automate the spin up of it, so it works for bringing up these multiple playgrounds all at the same time. So it's just a technology that suits us. So I guess the mantra for the playground is about cost effectiveness. Obviously, if we're spinning up multiple instances of all these different environments and all these different APIs, then undoubtedly we need to make sure that it doesn't cost the earth. So we use AWS in order to right-size the environment, so we're not running too much at any one time, and then we can pull stuff down when we need to. So we don't use any real tin. Well, it's real tin in the background, but everything's hosted in AWS, and the aim is to make sure that we can pay the bill at the end of each month on a regular corporate card. So outsource tools essentially to make sure that we don't cost too much. So IPA, Docker, we love Docker. It lets us stuff loads of different applications in containers really easily onto the same host. It works really well for us. SaltStack, very keen on that. It allows us to manage our configurations really easily, spin them up really easily, spin them down really easily. Sorry, I need to go backwards.
GitLabs.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not used to this presenting log. There you go. GitLabs. So yeah, and we use GitLabs for source control and continuous integration. So yeah, mostly open source, mostly cheap, cost effective, being our mantra. So what have we been doing in the playground to date? So obviously, I said it's only 6 months have gone past. So we've achieved quite a lot. We've got about 10 proofs of concept running at the moment. I can't give you actual details of the majority of them, but I can give you the sort of the themes. Cryptocurrency, yeah. Of course, we're looking at blockchain. Of course, we're looking at Bitcoin. That stands to reason, given what Visa is all about. Authentication. So we're looking at different authentication mechanisms, stuff like biometrics, and investigating those. Wearables and honorables we really like. So we're doing a fair few wearables and honorables pieces, and now the shameless plug comes for our demo at the end of this session, in an hour's time. So we recently collaborated with Henry Holland. If you don't know who Henry Holland is, I didn't know before the start of this. He's a fashion designer. And on Saturday night we did a London Fashion Week show with Henry Holland, which had a wearables aspect to it. It was called Cashless on the Catwalk, which gives you kind of an idea of what it was all about. It was about making payments in a scenario that was completely out of context. So yeah, we'll be doing a little demo in about an hour's time on what actually happened at the Henry Holland Fashion Show. That's it.